Hi, I'm Jen with Augusta Caregiver Recruiting, and I'm super excited to have Cassandra on the phone with me. She has been a family caregiver, and she's going to be telling us about her experience in that work and what she's up to now. So I'm super excited to have you here, Cassandra.
Nice to meet you, and I'm nice to be a part of you guys, become a part of you guys' team.
Awesome. So let's jump right in. So Cassandra, tell me about your background. What other
I've
work
been
have
a
you done?
caregiver.
Yeah.
I have did security. I have did warehouse, some janitorial, customer service. I worked at fast food.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at the county office. I have did medical code and billing. Worked at the Department of Behavioral Health. Like I have a lot of different skills. I'm
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
I like to learn
Mm-hmm.
different things.
And how long have you been a caregiver?
My mom recently passed. So it was like 6 months before she
Mm-hmm.
had passed. I was doing it for her,
Mm-hmm.
because she needed somebody to care for her. So I would do like her shopping, cleaning, bathing, necessities of a caregiver, taking her to appointments, just keeping her spirit up.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard, but to make sure she was happy for her last days.
Yeah.
My job is to make sure that she's happy and
Yeah.
comfortable.
I'm sorry about your mom. That must be hard. So you got into caregiving in the beginning because you kind of had to. It sounds like it was your mom and she needed care. So what are maybe one of your most memorable moments as a caregiver to her?
Just knowing that she was down and out, that I was able to uplift her spirit, made her feel comfortable and at ease, helping her. And then she started keeping a smile on her face. So that just made me felt that's one of my memorable moments, like just being there and
Mm-hmm.
see that, like, she liked to cook, she liked to do a lot of stuff. So I still made sure that even though she was incapable, I still made sure she was able to still do whatever she wanted to do. May not fully, but she was still able. So, that was my memorable moment.
Mm-hmm. Getting to kind of help her keep that independence and dignity through the end of her life, it sounds like. Yeah. So that must have been very hard. First of all, I can barely imagine. So what keeps you wanting to find another caregiving position? Or
I
what?
like
What?
helping.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like helping others, who can't help themselves or they have low mobility. It's it's all about our people who's incapable right now. Some people don't have loved ones or someone who really care about, to get out there and help them, even if it's just for them to clean their house, make them a small meal, doctor's appointment, conversation. I just want to continue to help out people that really can't help themselves.
Mm. Yeah, that's awesome. It sounds like you've got a big heart. I don't know how else to say it. So when you're looking for a caregiving position, what do you look for? What are some of the most important things to you?
When I look at facilities, I look at the reviews. I look to see how they keep up, because I don't want to go nowhere where they're abusive physically,
Mm-hmm.
verbally. I want to be in a nice environment, clean environment. That way, if everything is, right, I look for like within where I'm at too,
Mm-hmm.
in the area and the distance. But If it's worth driving a little further, then I would. But I look for, the reviews on how they handle the facility and they treat their client.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Makes sense. That all sounds very important. And it sounds like it's also important where it is too, like making sure that it's pretty close to to where you live. How often are you looking for a job? And where do you usually look?
Pretty often. I'm online.
Just out of curiosity, where online do you usually look?
I have this. I'm on the My CNA.
Mm-hmm.
The caregivers is that I look through there. Indeed. They have a few little different job
apps
that I go on.
Yeah. Okay. So my last question for you is, what would make you leave a company, or what do you think some agency owners could do better to keep you at a caregiving job?
It's communication. Communication is a big key for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is equal. Long as the environment is healthy, I'm fine. And if it's not healthy, then I would have to excuse myself. But for the most part, you would really have to have a real bad reason for me just to up and leave.
When you say communication, what do you mean? Or could you say a little more about that?
So the supervisor manager.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them don't communicate as they should. So if you come in, you're asking questions like, because with the caregivers, if you go into the facilities, a lot of stuff do change because you never know. Anything could happen from the time you left to the time you come back. You're trying to communicate, and then they're not communicating with you. Now you go on the floor, and now your coworkers is like, well, did you know this and this changed? Huh? Well, I just asked them, you know what I mean? And that's a big thing. It could be anything like schedule. You might change the schedule right away, and then I'm expecting to have this day off. And then you're like, oh, but you're not here. It's called you have to learn, the communication will make everything so much better. Because a lot of people don't communicate with jobs. I done been at a lot of jobs where the managers just won't communicate.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't feel good. If they take a really long time to get back to you or just don't get back in time, especially if it's a schedule change, that can throw a big monkey wrench into your life, basically. Because I'm sure you have other responsibilities that you need to worry about. So
I have 6 kids, so.
Oh my goodness! Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, so definitely other responsibilities. So changing the schedule at the last minute and not being able to communicate that with plenty of time, it's a big red flag. I guess the other part of what you were saying was that kind of about communicating when there's a change, like in the client or resident care plan. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, it can be like something with the system change and you're trying to log in, but you're like, you know what I mean? Like when you go in and you ask your boss, hey, well, is there anything other than what I'm supposed to, you know what I mean? Like just to see what's going on or have anything changed since I've been here. And if I'm asking you and I'm not getting an answer, and as soon as I, for instance, go log on the computer, oh yeah, the system did change. Everybody has to log in. I just asked you, you know what I mean? You know
okay.
I mean?
Yeah, I see.
Why you behind on your work? You know what I mean? It can be anything. Communication is the key. If you communicate and then we all on one accord, it makes everybody's life go so much easier. The job can get done. There's nobody frustrated. You don't have to work. You know what I mean? You don't feel like you're working under pressure because now everything then got switched and now you're behind because, you like to be on time and you persistent with how you run your shift for that day, for the day period. You know what I mean? But I done been in a lot of different situations. But
Yeah, that would be really frustrating. I think just not getting a response back in general, like no matter what the situation, anybody at work, I think would like that would be very frustrating. So I totally understand that. Oh, and I meant to ask, since you've done residential care before and you worked in a facility, what's making you now look for home care work?
It's just, it's whatever comes first. Like,
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's
Got it.
all, to me, it's like all the same thing. You know what I mean? I'm willing to help someone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Home care, it's a little more, you know what I mean? Like, you can have a more connection, you know, because it's not so many, but however it happens,
You're
I'm
good.
happy with it.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing some of your thoughts and your background and everything, Cassandra. I really appreciate it. And yeah, it was great to hear some of your thoughts and feedback. So thank you.
Thank you, and you're welcome.